Hello everyone, welcome. We have a speed build today, and this one is a limited pack build. So it is only base game and growing together, and I'm building this in San Sequoia. Yes, I think so. Yes, I am San Sequoia. So yeah. Now I did something a little bit different with this particular build. I'm going to put two color options for this up on the gallery. I wanted to do like a bright color, and I wanted to do more natural colors. So yeah, mostly because I wanted to have a play around with some of the different colors in the growing together wallpapers basically. Because there's some bright colors in there, and I hadn't really used them, and I thought, well, I want to do something that's a little bit different and bright. And then I was sort of like, well, this house would look quite nice with natural colors as well. So yeah, I did both. So yeah, this one is going to be a family home. It's been a while since I built this. I originally built this when the gallery first went down, and then I couldn't quite finish it until it was a bit more back up and running. So yeah, it's been a while since I had a wee look at this one, and I was excited to get it up because I really love the Growing Together pack as far as building goes. I think it's got some great options, particularly for family homes, because of course it's got all the little bits and pieces for the kids as well. So with the color of the bright home, which is what we're going to focus on for the building, and then I'll show you how the natural home looks at the end when we do the tours, so you can see the differences. I decided to experiment with blue and red. So as I said, it actually ended up being like, you know, quite a brightly colored build, but I think it actually looked really cool. Just doing something a little bit different and more colourful, which is nice. Now, so I have got the basic shape of the house, which I'm really happy with. I think this is going to be a good size for a growing modern family, and I am in the process of working out what I'm going to do with the windows. So I originally wasn't going to do all that much red, but then I saw the red highlighted windows, and I was like, oh, you know what? I actually quite like the red coming through with this as well as the white. So that's what I ended up going with. You know, just one of those go with the flow kind of builds where I just wanted to see where it took me, and this is where it took me. And I'm just sort of working out the different the steps that I wanted to use and the different fencing. So I'm just using the Growing Together fencing, because one thing I really liked about the Growing Together pack was how all the different things like the fencing and the windows and stuff all sort of worked together. So I thought that was quite cool. And so I've got the basics of the outside, and I'm just working on the inside. So if you're not aware, if you are working on stairs, if you hold down the control or click I think you just need to tap the control button when you're on the upstairs, it'll actually switch the stairs to downstairs. So that's just a little cheat for you, if you weren't aware of that one. I only discovered that not so long ago. I wasn't aware of it. It's not one that I've seen people talk about either, so weirdly enough. But yeah, if you're on the second floor, tap the control button and your stairs will switch down a level. So it actually makes placing stairs a lot easier, I found, because you don't need to sort of fuss around between upstairs and downstairs. You just kind of click it for the downstairs level and go from there. So I am working on the floor plan at the moment. So I know where the front entrance is, so I'm just working out how this is all going to flow. And I did really struggle with this because I've got the bedrooms off to the side. So this is going to be 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and then a walk-in closet on one side and a walk-in play area on the other side. And then I've kind of got the kitchen and dining area in behind the stairs there, and then there's going to be the living area, the living room off by the bedrooms downstairs, and then upstairs is the master bedroom, which has its own ensuite as well. So it's 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms for that particular build. and we're on a 30 by 20 lot, so it's not a huge lot, but it ended up being a really good size for A, the build, and B, there's still enough space there that I could put in a good amount of landscaping, and I think we get a pool in there as well, so it's going to look very good, and there's going to be lots of things for the family. And because we've got a kids room down there, I put bunk beds in, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 space for 5 Sims in there. So 6 because it's a double bed. So I've got a double bed, 2 double beds. Oh well, let's see what happens. So I'm just working on the landscaping at the moment. So getting in some rose bushes around the front, and then I'm just changing out the plant fencing, the hedge fencing, and I'm putting in red fencing from the Growing Together pack. I decided that I just didn't want to have all that green going around, so I changed it. And now I'm just working out what in this little front garden area, just working out the seating that I wanted to put in, and I found that lovely wicker round seating that comes with the Growing Together pack, so I put that in that little lawn area there. And obviously we've got a really nice lawn off to the side. It's not like a backyard, but it's a yard a yard area there, and I'm just going through and just popping some items that appealed to me from the Growing Together pack that I'd need to squish in there. I'm not sure if I do fit the tree house unfortunately in there, but I think we do get a pool and bits and pieces in the backyard, so it's a fun place for the kids to grow up and learn their movement skills and their imagination skills and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just building like a little barbecue area at this stage. I'm just using the Growing Together little shelter shade area, shelter shade area, the shade maker roof thing. Oh no. That description is the worst. I should not be in charge of descriptions. That was dreadful. So I am using pops of the teal and the teal in the backyard. I actually think that goes quite nicely with the red fencing. So that's what it is, and that's our pool. So it's not a huge pool, but I think it's a nice pool. It should be big enough for the Sims to have their laps, and got the sun lounger there going in there. I'm just going to decorate the pool, get the lighting in, because you need to have your lighting in the pool so you can see what you're doing if you're going for a night swim. And now I'm just working on how the kids stuff is going to sit in the backyard. I don't think I'm going to be able to squeeze in all of that stuff, but I think most of it actually ends up going in there, because I do add a gardening area as well, just to make this practical for use as a player, because I think that's still important. I mean, it's all very well having a pretty home, but if you can't use it to actually play in, well, what's the point other than looking in and going, oh, that's pretty. It's like, well, I'd like to play in it as well, so you got to have the practical side of things. So I do add a garden in as well. I thought that was going to be useful, particularly if you've got a family, you want to grow your own vegetables and stuff, so feeding all the kids gets a little bit cheaper. I think that's a good idea. Anyhow, let's see what we do on the rest of the decoration side of things. I just was working out the rest of the windows, and then I was fussing around with the dining kitchen area flow and how that was going to work, because the living area isn't all that big in this particular home. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the idea of having a big doorway in the middle of the living area, so I had to fuss around with that a little bit and change that. And at the moment I'm just fixing up some of the fencing, because I noticed that I still had odd bits of fencing the wrong kind of fencing here and there, and just doing a bit more landscaping. But you can sort of see the vibe that I'm going for with the red and the blue and the pops of white. So I actually brought back the fencing of the hedge fencing into the backyard, and that is going to section off our garden area. So it ended up coming back in a slightly different format, and I think it actually ended up looking quite nice. And I'm just going to use the Sims 3 camera just to tweak the placement of the planters, just to make them look a little bit more natural in the way that they're placed. And it's just, I was looking at the magic bean, the magic bean stump, which I've never used. I've never used the magic bean stump. I actually should do one day, is go through and do like the magic bean collection. I've just, one of those things I just never got to, because by the time I got around to playing, it was a whole thing that had been and gone, and you know, that sort of thing. So I just, yeah, never got to it. So I am now doing the terrain paint. So I'm doing a darker brown to outline the pathway, and then I'm doing a lighter brown for the garden to go on as well. And then just going to shade that all in and make that look pretty. So I'll get some landscaping in there soon, I'm sure. And there will be another little flowery area down there where the rubbish bin is sitting, and so I'm just making a little area for the rubbish bin so that it's accessible by the Sims. And then yeah, just another little garden space there, so it's all lovely and landscaped. And I'm putting in white flowers, I think, all the way through actually in the back area. So I've got the red roses in the front, and then I go for the white flowers in the backyard. Okay, so we're going to continue the daisies in off to the side there, and then I'm going to work on something a little bit different in the back garden. I'm just going with greenery rather than flowers. So doing the ferns, and then, well, I guess sort of flowers with the probably the most versatile plant in the game. I'll put that out there, maybe, possibly. I use it all the time anyway. It's great for going around corners and stuff with pathways. So one of my favorite plants, and it's Basegame, so there you go. Now we're moving off to the inside. I'm going to start placing out all the items. What am I doing? Something with debug. Unsure. Oh, okay, that's right. I was working out the doorway thing and what I wanted to do there. So I have changed the flow so that the kitchen can only be accessed through the dining room. So it's not the best flow in the world, but it worked out a lot better than having the access into the kitchen from that front door area. It just ended up being quite weird looking coming in from that direction. So yeah, I changed the way that the kitchen laid out, and so it was accessible in through the dining room. I mean, I don't think that's too bad having it come in through the dining room. I mean, that kind of makes sense because you're going to be cooking in the kitchen anyway and eating in the dining room in theory. So yeah, that's fine. And you would have just seen I did the shrinking a dishwasher trick there. So I shrunk down the dishwasher and put the rubbish bin in under the counter, which is one of my favorite little tricks, because then I can just hide away the not the washing machine, the rubbish bin. Oh boy, what am I thinking? So I'm just working out what I want to do with the kitchen and the overhanging cupboards there. So I just kind of like built that going around and used the Vault modular set for that particular kitchen, and I think that looked really nice. I really like that set. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just something that appeals to me. And I'm just working on a bit of clutter to go into the kitchen area. I'm not working on a particular budget in this build, so I feel comfortable getting a bit of clutter in there without blowing the budget as such. Oh yeah, with the Vault modular, you obviously get like a bit of, and if you get like the corner cabinets and stuff in there, you get a bit of stuff on the shelves. This is what I'm trying to say. And I was like, oh, the bamboo plants, I can use those around the front. So I deleted the hedging that I had and put those in there instead, because that works so nicely with the growing together pack, and it's actually like a plant that I really like for the outdoor area. So yeah, I wanted to use it, so I did. Now what am I doing here? I think I'm trying something. Oh, that's right, I'm putting in a hand towel hanging on the bench, but it was a bit tricky. But I got there in the end. So I deleted the wall behind it so it wouldn't snap, and put in the it was able to lift up the hand towels so they hovered in front of the bench. So yeah, got what I wanted there. So I'm moving on to the next part of the kitchen, and I'm just working out what I want to do in this section. Oh yeah, I'm just deciding what color I wanted to go with. So I did end up thinking I wanted to go with blue, rather, well, not rather than anything, just I decided to go with blue because obviously we've got a blue and red on the outside, so I wanted that to kind of coordinate with what we were doing on the outside, on the inside. So that's what I did. And just working on the rug situation. Obviously we're kind of limited because we've only got Basegame and Growing Together with the rugs, and Growing Together didn't come with a whole lot of rugs. So yeah, a bit limited on the old rug situation, but that's okay. Got the fabulous Growing Together chairs, which I love, the waffle. I call them the waffle chairs. I don't actually know what their actual name is, but that's what I call them, and yeah, that's that. I think they're fabulous because they do match in so well with a lot of the Basegame furniture as well, so I think they are very useful chairs, and they're not too expensive either, so there we go. Just thrown in some brown carpet into the dining area and into the bedroom. This is going to be a double bedroom downstairs, and I'm just working out what's going in there, and I'm obviously going to do a bit of a red theme going in there with the blue wallpaper, which I think actually looks really nice, and carrying on like the colours of the house as well. And I'm going to break that up with tones of light brown in terms of some of the fixtures and furnishings and stuff as well. So for this bedroom, I am doing a walk-in wardrobe. So you can see I'm working on the clutter there. That is going on the dresser, and I'm going to put some stuff up on the walls and maybe some shoes. Not sure if I'm going to have room for the shoes actually, but definitely going to have a lot up on the walls, so we're going to have plenty of space for hanging the clothes. I mean, oh yeah, there we go, there's the shoes, and you would probably get the shoes, and it does kind of make the mirrors in there non-functional, but I did hang another mirror out into the bedroom, so that resolved that issue. I mean that it was still, you know, there was still a functional mirror in the room, but just, yeah, the other ones you just can't quite reach. And I'm just putting a desk in there with a chair and a couch in there as well, and using the sort of little pops of an orange in with that as well. I just thought it kind of worked with the room and the colour of the bed, and yeah, I actually really like this bedroom. I like the colours of it. It's quite an unusual combination of colours, maybe that's a bit out there to say, but I thought it was you know, a different range of colours to use. So I'm just thinking about curtains and what I am going to do with the curtains side of things, and yeah, what colour. And I actually ended up going with the red, so it's quite a bold choice, carrying on sort of the red with the blue, but I actually think it really worked. So that could be me being in the minority, I don't know, but that's what I thought, and that's what I went with. So I'm just adjusting the height of the curtains and then putting in the immaculate shelving on top, so that it covers the top of the curtain, and it's all sort of hidden away nicely, and it looks pretty. So there we go. I think that bedroom ended up looking really nice. So there. Ah, sorry. Obviously I've had too much caffeine and I'm in the mood. And I love that shelving for Growing Together. I think it's fantastic shelving. It's because there's two types of it, so you can sort of have like two lots of shelving sitting next to each other, and so you can mix and match, but also it's quite easy to snap things on there. It's pretty versatile shelving, so yeah, I really like that shelving. And going into the bathroom that is downstairs, so this is the downstairs bathroom that is going to be used for, I guess, guests and the two bedrooms that are down there, and just putting in all the Growing Together bits and pieces that came with the Growing Together set. So we have the mirror, sink and bath and the towels, and then using the blue, I want to say herringbone. Is it herringbone? I don't know. It's the blue tiling that came with the Growing Together pack anyway, which I do like. I love all the different colours that came with that. And then moving on to the kids' bedroom. So I did rethink the double bunk beds and ended up changing it to one bunk bed and one toddler bed. So yeah, so you can still have like 2 Sims in the 2 double beds, so 4 Sims, 5 Sims, 6 Sims in this house. Easy peasy. And I made, rather than doing like a walk-in wardrobe, because I thought, well, do kids really need a walk-in wardrobe? Well, given the amount of stuff that kids have, yeah, probably, but for the Sims, they don't have that much stuff, wardrobe stuff, so I thought, well, it made more sense to have like a little walk-in play area, kind of like a little playhouse. Thought that would be cute, so that's what I've ended up building in that space rather than a wardrobe. Thought that might be more functional for the kids, so that's what I did there. And so this bunk bed has the computer underneath it and the study desk, and then we've got the toddler bed there, and just working on the extra bits of furniture, and we'll pop some toys and stuff in there, and that fabulous nightlight, the little moon that keeps away the monsters. I'm getting a bookshelf in there with some toys on it. And in the corner, I think we'll probably put either some more toys or maybe even like a dollhouse, perhaps. Just shrink it down. I don't know. I can't remember what I did. Yeah, there we go. I did shrink down a little dollhouse for the corner. There we are. And that's still functional even though it is shrunk down. The kids can still play with it. I mean, they just take up way too much space anyway, so it all works out. And then I'm just looking at the dresser options and what we can put in there for the kids. I love those drawers because you can do like lots of different colours with them, so they're quite versatile. So you can use them in all sorts of builds, and I'm using the Growing Together dresser as well to go beside those. In the brown, and just popping some more toys into the corner for the kids. Because, you know, you can't have enough toys for the kids. And I am putting a plant on here, but I don't know, it just kind of sat funny, so I did end up deleting that off camera, I believe. So don't expect to see that one in the house. Oh no, a plant is missing. Oh dear. So just doing some decals for the wall and getting in some rugs. And I think the kids' room is cute. And, oh yeah, the curtains. We need the curtains in there. And I went with the Basegame Cloudy Day sort of curtains, and once again using the immaculate shelving. I believe it's immaculate, I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if I am wrong. My memory is shoddy. So I'm doing the best I can with what I got. And then I'm using the Retro Luxe wallpaper for the living area and entrance area. So I'm just going to make a little cool space in this little entrance area using those lovely Growing Together chairs and a plant, and we've got a coat rack so we can hang our coats on there. So oh yeah, we don't keep that blue chair. What we put in there instead is one of the gorgeous hall tables that came with the Growing Together set. I really like that hall table. I think it's quite lovely, quite useful, and you can snap things on there quite nicely. As you can see there, I'm just putting some bits and pieces on there. Add that homely clutter to the area. And then I've got a perfect space there for a couch. Ta-da! And I love the couch and the colour of the couch. I think that works so nicely with this particular build. So I was super happy with that. Unfortunately, there wasn't a Growing Together 2-seater couch, which I would have loved for this particular build, because that would have been perfect, but oh well, it is what it is. Can't always win them. So yeah, so I'm just building in the lounge area here. I've got the little 2-seater TV area space, and then the chess set. And I think considering there isn't like heaps of space, I did alright with getting like bits and pieces in there and making it quite homely. So we're just getting some shelving in there now, so we can put our bits and pieces and homely clutter on there. Obviously we have only the Growing Together and Basegame clutter to work with, but I think there's still a decent amount of stuff that we can pop on our shelves, make it look like home. And then I decided to do something a little bit more fancy with the TV. So because we don't have the home decorator kit, which is really good for building like entertainment centers and like shelving around TVs and stuff, I had to kind of jimmy it together as such, using some more of that shelving, and just kind of made something up. So, you know, the TV was sort of sitting in the middle of some shelving, and I don't know, I think it looked quite cool, and I was able to put like a bit of clutter in there. So that's like a little speaker that comes with the Growing Together pack, and I got like little different bits and pieces that I put on the shelving, and just made it look a little bit more homey in the lounge, in the living area. So I think that actually came together quite nicely. I was happy with that. Took a little bit of fussing around, obviously, to get some of the pieces onto the shelf. So using the Control 9, Control 0 to zip it up and down. But yeah, I think it ended up looking quite nice. I mean, you know, there wasn't like heaps of clutter that I could use, so I was a bit limited in the choices, but I think I got there in the end. Sorry, just putting stuff in the kitchen at the same time as I find stuff. I'm like, oh, that's stuff for the kitchen. Oh, that's stuff for the kitchen. So that's going in there as well. And I was able to put some books onto the shelves too. So I mean, you know, books is quite a reasonable thing to put on a shelf in a living area space, I think. So that made lots of sense. So yeah, so just working that all out at the moment, and how I'm going to place the clutter and make it look pretty. And obviously with the immaculate shelving, using the Alt option, I can sort of slide that up and down so that I don't have big gaps underneath things. But then you got the juggling part of actually making sure that, yeah, the shelves are all even and on the same level. Because there's no point like doing that sort of thing and then having like shelves higgledy-piggledy and different levels and stuff. That makes no sense. So it's just finding the right stuff that will sit on there and, yeah, not have to change all the levels to silly heights and, yeah, all over the place. And then I was trying to work out having like a plant there in the planter, and trying to get that to work, but then, you know, the plants were sitting in the wrong place, and then, yeah, the EA app had to restart, so I had to restart the build. And you know, things like that, all the classic things that you have to deal with when you're building and playing The Sims. Okay, so I think I did the lounge, the living area, so I'm just going back to finish off the dining area because I realised that I hadn't put anything in the corners and that kind of looked a bit bare. So I'm using the Growing Together end tables, and I'm just going to decorate with some plants around the room. Just adds a bit more life to the room. And then moving on to the back porch area, I realised that I hadn't done anything there either, so I'm just working that out at the moment as to what I want to put there, and use the blue seating to match with the blue house. I think I ended up changing this a little bit. I'm not sure if I did this on camera or off camera though, because I needed columns around there, and yeah, I just had to move the seating around a little bit, so not a biggie. And now I'm just putting in the lighting. I'm never quite sure with some of this lighting how easy it is going to be to get around under the lighting for some of the Sims, because sometimes it sits quite low. So I'm actually shrinking that lighting at the moment, just on the off chance that it is going to sit too low and it's going to be too hard for the Sims to get around and under things and do things and open things, you know, as they do. So that's, if you're wondering why I'm actually shrinking the lights, that's why I'm shrinking the lights, because I was a little bit nervous about whether or not they were going to sit too low. So we are now upstairs, and we are working on the bathroom at the moment, and I forgot the toilet paper downstairs as well. So just doing the final touches on the bathroom upstairs, and obviously continuing on with the blue theme, but just putting some touches of dark blue in there. And now on to the master bedroom and all the fabulous joy of trying to work out what colours I'm going to do. So So just shifting the room around because I thought that had better access, and also changing where the access to the bathroom is as well. So just doing a little changer there because I decided that I wanted to put in a walk-in wardrobe up there as well, or like a little separate kind of wardrobe area as such. So you can see me building it there with the vault dresser that matches the vault modular stuff that we use in the kitchen, and doing a couch at the end of the bed, and we've got the end tables there, and I'm going to put in some windows as well because I hadn't done the windows upstairs. Silly me, I forgot about those. So just doing that and brightening up the outside of the second story, and then just working on the colour for the walls. Ended up going with the bright blue, I think, but I think I calmed that down with the curtains being like a light sort of beige colour. It did calm down the walls a little bit more because it is quite a bright colour, but because a chunk of it was sort of hidden by the curtains, I think it actually, you know, made it look quite nice, and you know, carried through with the pops of yellow in the decorating as well, as you can see in the beautiful sunflowers next to the bed there. And I think we're getting really close to the end of the build. I do make a few adjustments as we go around, but yeah, let's take a look at what we did. So you can see it's all the lovely bright blue and red exterior with pops of white, and I went sort of more teal in the backyard because that was the colour we were working with, and I was really happy with how this sort of turned out. I think it looks really modern, like a really nice suburban home with a bright twist. So let's take a look on the inside. So you can sort of see the yellow and the blue in the top bedroom. I've sort of tweaked a few things in there. And then going downstairs, we've got all the lovely red and blue carrying through into the living room and the entrance area. And then going through to the kids' room, it's mainly blue in there. And they've got their little secret play area down the back there. And then into the downstairs bathroom and the double bedroom that's downstairs, which I really like the colours of. And then we've got the dining area, and then into the kitchen, which I think turned out really nice. It's a really nice big roomy kitchen too. So now that we've looked at the beautiful bright colours, let's look how I changed it. Ta-da! Into the natural colours. So I did pops of green with a darker brown wood. So I thought that was quite interesting. So I changed the fencing and the colour on the outside of the building, as you can see there, and all the columns, and I changed the colour of the chairs as well. So let's see what I did on the inside. So I changed the blue walls to a natural wall, and then I used the beige in the bathroom. Then I changed that more to brown for the living area on that couch, and I changed the colour of the frame as well. And then into the bedrooms, I didn't do too much different in the kids' room, but I did change the walls and the rugs in the downstairs bathroom, and I changed some of the colours in the downstairs bedroom as well. So more brown than it was red, and I did like the green walls as well. And brought in the browns into the dining area, and then into the kitchen. I don't think I made any changes really there, because that was great as it was. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ta-ta! Bye!